Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into 10 ancient Stoic principles that are, believe it or not, incredibly practical for our crazy modern lives. If you're looking for a way to find some unshakable calm, you are definitely in the right place. You know that feeling, right? Like you're just drowning, work, the news, personal stuff. It can feel like you're being tossed around in this giant sea of stress and you can't even see the shore. But what if you had an anchor, something to hold you steady in the storm? Well, that's exactly what Stoicism is. It's not some dusty, abstract philosophy. It's a practical, timeless set of tools to help you find your footing and navigate the chaos. All right, so let's get right into it because this first idea is the absolute foundation for everything else in Stoicism. It's the simple but game changing idea of knowing the difference between what you can control and what you can't. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. And it's super simple, really. On one side, you've got everything outside of you what other people do, what they think, what happens in the world. You can worry about that stuff, but you can't actually control it. And on the other side, that's your anchor, your thoughts, your reactions, your mindset. The Stoics argued that this is where 100% of your power lies. So here's the big takeaway, right? Real calm doesn't come from trying to fix the entire world outside. It comes from mastering your own mind. So let's look at how the Stoics suggested we actually do that. Okay, so our next big idea is all about protecting your mind. Think of it like a fortress, a sanctuary. You are the gatekeeper, and you've got to be careful about what you let inside. I mean, think about it like this. You wouldn't let just anybody walk into your house and start dumping garbage all over your living room, right? Well, your mind is your home. So we have to be just as careful about what we let in, the kind of media we consume, the negativity we listen to, even the thoughts we decide to focus on. This next one comes from the brilliant Stoic philosopher Epictetus, and it is the total game changer. It starts like this. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it, that matters. Just let that sink in for a second. This is huge. It means no one can make you feel offended. Offense isn't something that's given to you, it's something you choose to take. The power to be hurt or angry is entirely within your own mind. And that idea is the key to transforming insults or offense into fuel for your own growth. So, how do you actually do it? When you feel that sting of offense, don't just push it down, acknowledge it. But then, and this is the important part, create a little space before you react. In that pause, you get to choose. You can ask, okay, what can I learn here? And you can choose to forgive, not for them, but for you, to let go of that weight. Okay, this next one is huge. It's about fear and shame. The Stoics had this incredible insight. Events themselves aren't scary or shameful. It's the stories we tell ourselves about them that make us feel that way. So the trick is to face these things head on. Don't run from them. Grate your fears down. What's really at the bottom of it? When you look at it rationally, it often starts to shrink. And much shame you feel about a mistake, turn it into a lesson. Remember, Stoic courage isn't about not feeling fear, it's about choosing to act with wisdom anyway. Okay, so once you start getting a handle on your inner world, what happens next? How does this change the way you deal with everything and everyone out there in the real world? Let's talk about criticism. It's gonna happen, right? So what do? Well, the next principle is to handle it with grace. And we go right back to that anchor. You can't control what people say, but you have absolute control over how you process it. So instead of instantly getting defensive, which is what most of us do, let's be honest, the Stoic move is to just pause, take a breath, ask yourself, hey, is there maybe a tiny grain of truth in this that I could learn from? A lot of the time, criticism is more about the other person's stuff anyway. The idea is to take what's useful and just let the rest go. All right, this next one might sound kind of pessimistic at first glance, but stick with me because it's actually an amazing tool for becoming more resilient. It's a practice called Premeditatio Malorum, or the premeditation of evils. Now, to be clear, this isn't about being a pessimist and expecting the worst all the time. No, it's about being a realist. Before a big meeting or a tough conversation, just take a minute and think, what could go wrong here? And then picture yourself handling it calmly. By doing this, you kind of strip away the shock factor. You prepare, you're confident, and you're ready for whatever happens. So what's really cool is seeing how all these pieces fit together. They're not just separate tricks. They form a whole framework for how to live a good life, a life of, well, wise action. And a huge part of that is having a firm purpose. The Stoics saw a life without purpose like a ship just drifting in the ocean, tossed around by every wave and gust of wind. Your purpose, that's your compass. It keeps you grounded, it guides your choices, and it helps you navigate life's choppy waters. And that purpose helps you with this next crucial idea, which brings us full circle, really. Accept what you can't change. So much of our stress and misery comes from fighting against reality. But acceptance isn't about giving up. It's the first, most important step toward actually doing something about a problem. You have to accept it's real before you can fix it. So, where does all this lead? It brings us to our final big idea: live in harmony with nature. Now, hold on, this isn't just about hiking or hugging trees. For the Stoics, it meant something much deeper. For them, living according to nature was about living according to our nature as rational, social human beings. It means practicing self-awareness, cultivating virtues like courage and wisdom. It's about contributing to the people around you, being part of a community. And yeah, it's about accepting the natural flow of life, the good and the bad. It's all about making sure your actions line up with your deepest values. Look, if you remember just one single thing from all this, let it be this: the world outside is always going to be a little chaotic. You can't control it, but you can absolutely learn to be the calm, steady captain of your own ship. True power isn't about controlling the world, it's about mastering your own mind. So there you had it. This ancient wisdom isn't just some old philosophy collecting dust on a shelf. It's a practical guide for right here, right now. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What is one small response to frustration, to a comment, to a fear that you can choose to master starting today?